Alrighty, welcome to Menu Heroes Digest.
Yep. If you thought these episodes were getting shorter, oh man, we got a big one for you today.
Yes, we do. So as you guys know, new Pokemon Presents came out recently, so we've got to cover that. There's a couple other stories we want to cover. I removed some of them. I'll let you briefly cover them if you really want to. But they're not going to be in the PowerPoint.
Yeah.
Because they're so short and not really news. They're more of like, oh, this short thing happened. But yeah, we can briefly go over them if you want.
And if I don't mention them, then they're not really worth it overall.
So let's just get started with Funko Pops equal trash. So anyone could have told you Funko Pops are garbage. No, if you like them, I can understand. I don't like them. I think they creep me out. But there are some Funko Pops that, you know, I'm like, okay, those are cute. It's mostly the ones that don't have those big old eyes.
Those eyes.
So,
Blackest eye.
Funko Pop had sort of a boom when the pandemic started and everyone was getting those relief checks.
There was a boom even before the pandemic.
Oh yeah, but they just rode a wave, and they ended up incorrectly predicting how much stock they actually needed. So they overproduced, they made too many Funko Pops, and it was to the point where their warehouse was full and they had to rent temporary storage. Those shipping units just to store all the excess inventory.
You know what this is very similar to?
What?
Skylanders. And the Disney Infinity games, so the little figurines things.
True.
Mm-hmm. But at least for those, you can actually put those in a scanner and they'd be characters in a game. You can't do any of that with Funko.
And you know, most of those little collectible statues, you know, they look nice on the shelf.
Yeah.
So apparently it's cheaper to just throw everything away, I guess it's like a tax write-off or something, than to try and sell it. So we're getting E.T. too.
Yeah. My first thought was, man, imagine if they did make Funkos on based on the Batgirl movie, so it's any evidence of that ever existing is now being wiped out, thrown into a trash bin. I feel real bad for the team.
Now, I'll be right back, but Funko Pops...
After these messages, we'll be right back.
So I was saying how I don't like most Funko Pops. This was an example of a Funko Pop I actually did end up buying.
I'm about to say, I remember seeing this over your house, and being like,
because it's Agretsuko, and it's just really cute.
I believe it's Agaresco.
I don't know how to say
I could
it.
be wrong too.
So apparently there were Funko-verse strategy games, or whatever. So, you know, it had like a use. I just thought it was cute.
Oh, yeah, it's a great one. It's a great one. I do have 4 as I mine down. I have one of the Falcon, one of Scarlet Witch, and there were 2 Walmart exclusives of Storm and Black Panther. And I think this was still back when they were together in the comics, so I thought it cute to get them and do like a little Valentine's Day post on my, I believe, Instagram or Facebook.
And then they broke up.
Yeah, they're no longer together. I don't even know if like T'Challa's still alive in the comics. He's not in the MCU, so I don't know what they do.
So, Shigeru Miyamoto. He recently turned 70, and he either recently or he is going to soon celebrate his 56th anniversary at Nintendo. He was interviewed by NPR, and they asked about his eventual retirement, because it's gonna happen, you know. He's either gonna retire or he's gonna die working at Nintendo.
Or he could do the Sam Lee route and just make cameos in movies. That's a possibility.
Shigeru Miyamoto cameo in the Mario movie.
You laugh, but I'm putting that on a checklist.
On a bingo card?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So these are just some These are just some of the quotes that I pulled from the NPR article. And I say I pulled it from the Kotaku article that pulled it from the NPR article. So one of the things he said was, I really feel like Nintendo's not going to change. It's probably going to be the same. There's, people on the executive team, creators within the company, and also people who create Mario. They all have this sense of what it means to be Nintendo. It's not like there's a lot of different opinions that go back and forth. Everyone has an understanding, this kind of shared understanding of what it is to be Nintendo. And so even when there's new ideas that come up, there's always the fact that it's a new idea, but also the fact that is it a new idea that really has the essence of Nintendo or not? And I think that's something that, we have this incredible shared vision, almost a little scary shared vision about this. So I don't think it's not going to change. So basically he's saying everything's gonna be fine. Don't worry about it too much. Nintendo's going to be going on without him.
I think I might have said this once before, but Nintendo is very much the video game industry's equivalent to Disney in terms of it's going to try and keep a core image of itself and try and present itself in a certain light and a manner. And, they'll do some things that deviate here and there, but they want to make sure the overall brand and the image and the name of Nintendo is as, synonymous as, Disney, or and funny enough, there's only been a handful of times those two companies have worked together on things.
So what would Nintendo's version of Song of the South be?
Maybe Bayou Billy, I think. I don't know.
I don't think that was a Nintendo created title, though.
That's one thing I can think
Third
of.
party.
I don't know. There's probably some game that's kind of homophobic or trans. I don't know. They're mixing something way into Nintendo's past.
Oh yeah, I was just kidding, but
maybe the Virtual Boy. Maybe that's the South of the Nintendo. But
oh yes, I would be ashamed too if I don't know.
Yeah.
So Dead by Daylight.
Yes.
That's a game
Yes.
that some people like, I guess.
I got it. I played it.
I've heard good
fun.
things about it. So everything's getting a movie or show these days.
Yeah.
And surprisingly great qualities. So Blumhouse Productions and Atomic Monster are partnering with Behavior Interactive, who are the developers of Dead by Daylight, to create a Dead by Daylight movie. There's currently no screenwriter or director attached to the project, which means it's still in its early days, but...
Now, I might not be the first person to have brought this up, but I honestly think if Blumhouse does this right, this could be their Avengers. Because while there are plenty of original, killers and monsters in the Death by Daylight games, it has grown exponentially more popular because of the crossovers. Because they've had Michael Myers, they've had, they've had Resident Evil, they've had Pyramid Head from Silent Hill, they've had the Xenobites, they've had, I believe, the Deadites from Evil Dead. They've had all kinds of crossovers, and Blumhouse has done, at least a Halloween movie. They have, I think they also did the Cocaine Bear movie. So yes, we could get a Cocaine Bear cameo in Death by Daylight, or I'm hoping that's a playable character in Death by Daylight.
Quick aside, how was that movie?
Pretty fun. In general, I do think the ending is not as strong as the first two parts of the movie. But still, it's a really fun. Sorry.
Don't go in expecting cinematic glory.
It's the name says itself, Cocaine Bear, and it delivers on that. And it gets pretty violent, it gets pretty bloody, and some pretty brutal death scenes. And anybody looking for that for horror, yes.
Like a horror comedy.
Definitely more comedy than horror, but the horror really hits you.
Yeah.
It's not playing anything like that. So I'm excited for Elizabeth Banks' directorial thing next after this. I don't know if she's going to do the sequel or she's going to do some other different thing, but this was a nice test of she can. Oh, she's obviously a great actress, but she has proven she can do horror well and action well.
So you will be watching her career with great interest?
Absolutely, yes.
So Blumhouse Production is actually launching its own video game studio called Blumhouse Games. And its goal is to help produce indie horror games that have a budget of $10 million or less. And just for reference, Dead by Daylight had a budget of $2 million.
Yes. Again, the first year was purely original killers and monsters. It's only when it kept growing more and more that they actually started getting. What is?
It's Gengar.
I know, but like I was just
He's
like,
come to bed.
okay.
Your dreams.
Oh, that's cute. I love it. I just wonder if that was like connected in any way.
No, it's my friend.
Gengar gonna be in Dead by Daylight? Oh man!
Surprise!
Oh man, I love that update. I love that DLC. But I mean, yes, obviously, I think they're definitely gonna look for either like smaller development teams and help produce their indie horror games, or help get like just single A or double A studios, give them a chance to do their own little horror projects. I am secretly hoping they do try and like get a couple, of the Blumhouse franchise and the Atomic Monster franchises games based on them, because that is Invisible Man remake that came out a couple years ago is solid. I can imagine a really good Invisible Man video game where you, again, like an invisible enemy stalking you. That should be a good selling point for a game.
That would be pretty scary.
Yeah.
I hate when I can't see the enemies, but I can hear them.
Yeah, that'd be the hook.
I hate it.
You can't see them, but you can hear them, and also like you can throw things like paint or water, and that would like at least give you an outline. But that would be pretty scary for a game. So you by all means, Blumhouse, Mr. Blum, Mr. Wong, take my ideas. That I'm excited about that, and obviously whatever new horror IP or new horror movie or game you guys want to develop, because I've been loving most of them so far.
And I mean, to add on to this, it's not the first time they've helped independent creators either.
Oh no!
Because Blumhouse Productions is one of the backers for Crypt TV.
And I subscribe to them, and so should you.
Which is a primarily YouTube channel that just has a bunch of independently created horror content.
Horror short films.
I actually haven't watched them, but I watched a video by this dude named Nightmind who covered Crypt TV.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's cool. And I let my mom know because she loves horror stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And so she is a horror. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. If she's one, I'm one too. Okay.
You are.
Yeah.
Activision.
Speaking of horror, here's the face of evil himself, Kotick.
So I didn't realize his eyes were as bloodshot as they are in this picture until like right before this.
That is so terrifying.
So the Communications Workers of America, hereby called the CWA, or QA,
I would rather deal with Michael Myers than that.
filed charges against Activision after 2 of its QA, or quality assurance testers, were fired. So Activision, like many other companies that are dumb, has been pushing for return to office plans. They don't want workers to have the freedom that comes with working from home. Yes, there are some benefits from working in the office. Yes, there are some downsides from working from home, but the option should be there. Especially, and it's especially tricky when you're dealing with the ADA, the American Disability Act, because if you're not careful, you can step on a lot of toes and get in a lot of legal trouble. But if you have enough money, it doesn't matter, apparently. So anyway.
That's America for you.
America. So the QA testers were fired after supposedly using profane or abusive language in protest to the return to office plan. Activision presumably has a code of conduct where they don't allow the profanity or abusive language, which is ironic given the higher echelons of Activision, but okay.
I mean, we have not forgotten all the stuff that happened last year and the year before, okay? You are still on thin ice, Activision, and Daddy Microsoft cannot just erase all that history.
You think we forgot about you? We didn't.
No, I certainly haven't. No.
So, like I wrote on the slide, Activision may have been within their legal rights, although it's a little murky because, certain laws in California where they're based protect a worker's right to protest and free speech. It's just, they're a garbage company and they're hypocritical. They're so hypocritical.
Yep.
They're like, we don't allow abusive language or profanity. And then they're over here being sexual assaulters. So...
hey, if y'all missed Activision, y'all waiting like, what's Activision been doing? That's what they've been doing.
More of the same. We don't cover everything because everything is the same.
Yeah, but it's been a while, so we at least give you an update of like, hey, is Activision still terrible? Yes, they are. That's what Activision update of the day, of the week, or whatever.
So, Yuji Naka, you wanna take a crack at this story?
Oh man, talk about a fall. Well, Yuji Naka's been falling from grace ever since the developing Sonic the Hedgehog 2006. But and yes, he did left, but he left in the middle of production. That's I don't know. Well, we're focusing on this right now, okay? Because Yuji Naka, the co-creator of Sonic the Hedgehog, has admitted to inside trading during his first trial. Yes, he is currently on trial.
Oh yeah.
Yuji Naka is charged with violating Japanese financial instruments and exchange act by trading $1 million in a stock while at Square Enix. Traded stock related to the studios behind Dragon Quest. Yes, Square Enix, but basically this is all was happening while he was in the middle of Balan Wonderworld or Wonderland.
I believe it was during when he was in middle of Balan Wonderland.
Yeah.
So the companies behind these two mobile games, Dragon Quest Attacked and Final Fantasy VII: The First Soldier, weren't directly Square Enix. They were actually outside companies. But he had, as you can tell from his quote, there is no doubt that he knew the facts about the game before it was made public, and he bought stock pertaining to that company that developed the game. And that's a big no-no. That's what in the industry they call insider trading. It's a big no-no in America, and it's a big no-no in Japan. No.
I would imagine it'd be even worse in Japan because a lot of rich people get away with stuff here in America, and at least in Japan they at least pretend at least they try to.
They at least pretend.
Yeah, they at least pretend like they care about that kind of stuff. But
it's just a shame because co-creator of Sonic the Hedgehog, wow, he is a piece of poop. It's Notch all over again, except Notch was racist instead of insider trading.
Yeah. Oh boy, I think I was making a video about Sega's attempt at doing their own Star Fox called Geist Force. I might have sent you an audio. I don't know if it ever got through. But,
I don't remember. But
I'll abbreviate it. Basically, Yuji Naka and his team basically destroyed any hope of that Geist Force game ever getting made, simply because he wanted the engine they were using all for himself and for Sonic Team, and making sure that engine was used for a Sonic game and not for any other development at Sega. Because, again, if you don't know about Yuji Naka, he wanted everything for himself, and any other division at Sega, they were trying to do their own thing, they went by the wayside. And yeah, clearly that didn't change. That part of him never left when he was constantly hopping from different studios. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Crypto Mining 101.
Oh, another classic.
Okay, cryptocurrency makes its return to Menu Heroes. So, Nadim Nahas pled not guilty in a recent hearing to charges related to vandalization of a school and fraudulent use of electricity. Basically, he had set up a mining rig in the boiler room of a high school, a public school. I actually don't know if it's a high school, but a public school. And he used 11 computers to do it, so it wasn't a huge operation. But in December 2021 alone, he racked up electrical bills up to $17,500, and that's not an insignificant amount. Because remember, public schools are funded by taxpayer money and lottery tickets.
So your tax money went to this guy trying to build an underground frickin' crypto mine.
Rather, he used that money indirectly.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've actually known about this for at least a year, but it's taken a while for the investigation to go through. I can imagine it'd be difficult with a public school because you've got students everywhere. So in the meantime, Nahas has been ordered to stay away from all public buildings in the area. And mind you, this was just outside of Boston. And so, of course, the first thing that pops into my head is, oh, it's that vault from Fallout 4. Because Fallout 4 takes place in Boston.
There's more to Boston than just Fallout. There's also the town. There's also Gone Baby Gone. There's also that one scene, The Fugitive. Like, there's plenty of things that there's a lot of things that Boston that
Fallout 4.
Okay, that too. But it's
crazy.
Again, the people in Boston, a lot of your tax money was siphoned by this jerkwad, by this frickin' guy. This book. Maybe I'm going more New Jersey. Sorry.
He has been ordered to stay away from all public buildings, and I'm like,
no pubs.
At first, I was like, how are they gonna enforce that? And then, reading comprehension kicked in, and it's like, oh yeah.
They put a sign around his neck saying, "I stole $17,000 from the public. I stole it out of tax money."
That would be hilarious. But no, what it probably means, because I didn't look deeper into it, is he can't go to places like public libraries, courthouses. He gets up for his case.
Yeah.
He can't go to taxpayer-funded buildings. So he could go to Walmart, for example, because while it is a building that is open to the public, it is privately owned.
Yeah.
He could go to the pub.
No.
Unless Boston has a state-run pub, which it might. I don't know. I'm not judging.
I mean, again, not an expert on Boston. Definitely. Even though I'm like partially Irish.
Everything I know about Boston comes from stereotypes, and I don't like that.
And I didn't mean to perpetuate that stereotype. I didn't mean to say the first thing with pubs that he couldn't go to. That's wrong. That's mean. But also, I'm partially Irish, so it's at least internalized, hatred here. So.
I'm half this racist, so it's not racist. It's only half racist.
Okay. I'm sorry.
So, Pokemon. Who's excited?
Switch to a happier topic.
So, the Pokemon Presents had a slew of information, but also nothing at all.
Yeah.
It really was disappointing. I didn't watch it because I was sleeping, because I had that day off of work.
And funny enough, this was one where I wasn't really feeling it, mainly because I was more interested in Demon Slayer, and the Demon Slayer quote unquote movie was being released this weekend, so I want to really catch up and sure I knew.
And then it wasn't even a movie.
Again, it's like the Swordsmith arc movie is more like the 2 episodes from the end of Entertainment District arc and the first episode of the upcoming season.
So it they stitched them together.
Yeah, but even then, there's
Did they actually stitch them together, or were there credits in between each one?
There's credits in between each one.
No.
They didn't even bother to take the credits out of it.
Oh my god, that's so.
And I almost felt dripped off. I mean, the animation for the last 2 episodes of Entertainment District are really good, and I'm glad I saw it in a theater where I could see the cool fight scenes and everything. But at the same time, it's no, these are episodes.
You're I've seen this.
2 I have seen at home. Okay, 1 I haven't seen yet, but not a whole lot happens besides seeing a bit more of the villains, and supposedly some big plot twist is gonna come up. But again, it ends on the credits that you're used to for the other episodes. So again, it was nice finally get to see an anime movie in theaters. Like every time I've tried to see an anime film in a theater, it's always not been able to do it, or something plans have changed. And okay, it's kind of cool. And yeah, it's cool to see a bunch of other Demon Slayer fans in a theater. We're all watching this together, but like these are just 3 episodes.
That's it.
Again, put together, not even like edited, so it feels more like a movie, but just episode 10, episode 11 of season whatever, and then season 1 of this new season, and that's how it is. Yeah.
So, Pokemon.
We're back to Pokemon.
So, the Pokemon World Championship is going to be taking place August 11th to the 13th this year. It will have the video game, the card game, Pokemon Go, and Pokemon Unite competitions, and it's being held in Yokohama, Japan. The video game will use Scarlet and Violet, the newest Pokemon.
Which does Xander now hate now? Does he hate Scarlet?
He doesn't hate it. He just likes Sword. It's his favorite modern Pokemon game, which is fine. It's fine. We're not.
Yeah, that's fine.
So, Pokemon Concierge, a stop-motion Netflix series.
This is usually I try to watch trailers ahead of time, but this time I was not busy enough. So this will be both of our first experience watching this. So let's go, or Pika Pika.
Power on. Auxiliary in. ここはポケモンリゾート。ポケモンたちがお客様として訪れる場所。
It's like a pet hotel.
これはそこで働く一人のコンシェルジュのお話。
Wow.
Okay, that was it. Psyduck.
That told us absolutely nothing.
You didn't see that character right there.
I don't like how they look. It creeps me out.
I'll have to see how they move.
Here we go.
I thought the puppets in Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, it took a while for me to get used to it because it had a bit of that uncanny feeling to it, but once you got more, the longer it went, the better I got used to it. And the movie itself is great. Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio was great, but it took me a while.
I haven't watched it.
It's fantastic, man. Easily the best Pinocchio movie of last year.
Okay,
Easily.
And there were like 3 of them.
Yeah.
So, Pokemon Unite. Oh my god. Pokemon Unite. Everyone was excited for it, and then it dropped, and it kind of just died off. So, Zacian is coming to Pokemon Unite. You can unlock him by playing Adventure in Zacian's Weld. I don't know why it says... events.
Yeah.
I meant to say event, but I wrote even. And you can use the code Pokemon Day to unlock a Zacian Boost Medal, I believe it's called. And this code expires March 26th.
When you put those words together, it says Pokemon Day, and my immediate thought is...
Pokemon Day, I see that.
And so, I don't think it's that cool anymore, Somebody's gonna case the Pokemon Days.
It's a Pokemon Cafe remix.
That looks pretty good, actually.
Yeah, the food does look good.
Wiglet, little, what's that?
The little Wiglet parfait, yeah. So, Paladin dishes are coming, as are the starter Pokemon. If you log in, you can get a free Greninja, and Victini, Mimikyu, Celebi, and Eevee are going to be available in the gacha system.
So when you go to the Pokemon Cafe, not like they ship you a Greninja to your house, right? They don't do delivery?
So the Pokemon Cafe remix is a game.
Oh, dang it. I thought that was an actual real cafe.
No, it's a game. It's like one of those matching 3 or whatever games.
I know, but it's just...
You got excited.
Honestly, look, there are different... Okay. Oh.
There are cafes like this. There might actually be a real Pokemon Cafe.
Yes. There's a Pantheon Stocking Cafe where there was, and then probably closed down. I don't know. Don't ask me how I know that.
Pokemon Masters EX, a game nobody cares about. So the Galarian birds, as well as the 3 rivals from Pokemon Sword and Shield, are coming to Pokemon Masters EX.
I do like their outfits, though.
Their outfits are pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pokemon Sleep and Pokemon Go++. This was around the time when I was like, oh, okay, we're just going to start combining these, otherwise there's going to be a ton of slides. So the Pokemon Go Plus, and that is its actual name,
I hate it already.
is used in both Pokemon Go and Pokemon Sleep. It functions just like a Pokemon Go Plus device with Pokemon Go. It lets you automatically spin Pokestops and catch Pokemon automatically. In Sleep, it can track your sleep patterns. It also has a little Pikachu inside it that can sing lullabies. You can also use your phone to track your sleep with Pokemon Sleep though, so it's like $50, $60 for this little device that is not worth $50 or $60.
No. I'd say it's not even worth $5.
I wouldn't go that far. Yeah, that
Usually I'm the one who's more optimistic when it comes to Pokemon stuff. But this one I completely do
It's
not
garbage.
like. I don't like the Pokemon Go Plus. I don't like the idea of Pokemon Sleep. I'm not having it.
So this is the same.
I'm not having it.
This is the same price as the Pokeball Plus controller for the Switch, and while that only worked with one game, you could carry Pokemon around with it, and you could connect it to Pokemon Go, and it was just a cute novelty.
And
Not so much. This is just a disc, a plastic disc. Pokemon Go and Pokemon Home. So Roaming Gimmighoul are coming to Pokemon Go when you link Go with your copy of Scarlet or Violet.
Have I did finally get a Grimghoul in my game, and yeah, I like him. You know, it took me a while to get used to. I don't know.
The cheese stick guy.
Yeah, it took me a while to, but now I do appreciate the Pokemon, and Go Steel again. Even though like Aegislash is a better Pokemon, it's a cool typing, and you know, it's like I'm fine with you, Grimghoul. We're all right.
So Roaming Gimmighoul, it's actually going to be the only way to catch him, I think, to catch the roaming form, not the chest form.
Okay.
And it'll also allow you to get more coins, Gimmighoul coins. And Pokemon Home support is coming soon, supposedly early 2023.
All right.
Now the big news: Scarlet and Violet DLC.
Yeah, this is the one you all want to hear.
Yeah. So 2 pieces of DLC are coming to Scarlet and Violet, much like Sword and Shield. These are story DLCs that are relating to the treasures of the Area Zero. So the first releases this fall and is called the Teal Mask. I didn't realize this, but you'll actually be visiting the Kitakami region, which will allow you to catch Pokemon not included in the base game, including some new Pokemon.
That is interesting, you know, like. Now, granted, like I only played a little bit of Sword and Shield and didn't get too far into it. I'm aware there is DLC for that. Does that let you go to a completely different region or just like a small island or something?
So it's still technically the same, the Galar region, but it lets you go to like the Great Tundra or something.
Okay.
I didn't really play the DLCs, to be honest.
Yeah.
And in addition to the DLCs, we've got Paradox Pokemon.
Yeah, this one I was hearing a lot of images and everybody's like hot takes on.
Yeah. So we've got Walking Wake, a water dragon Pokemon based off, but not related to Suicune. And it is available in Scarlet. And then we've got Iron Leaves, a grass psychic Pokemon based off, but not related to Virizion. And it is available in Violet. And the important things to remember about Paradox Pokemon is they are not actual direct ancestors or descendants. They are potential ancestors or potential descendants. Because the way the time travel works, it's, you know, they don't belong here.
Well, it's like how, is it kind of like how Homo sapiens and Neanderthals, they weren't quite related, but just like...
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so this is...
But they're also kind of like what-if Pokemon, because... Yeah. And so, what if your Paradox Pokemon glitched? This was not good. So, those who hadn't downloaded the latest Pokemon patch were not able to access the raids offline. But, because of the way the rating system works, or at least worked before they released another patch, was you could join online peoples. So those who had downloaded the patch and were successfully fighting the Paradox Pokemon, those who hadn't downloaded it were able to access that raid. when they entered it, they would be fighting an egg instead of the legendary Pokemon. And that's because the game automatically just uses an egg as a placeholder if the Pokemon is not coded into the game. The patch is what brought these Paradox Pokemon to the games. So if you don't have it, you get an egg. A bad egg.
Mm-hmm.
Because the egg is unable to hatch, you can't release it, and it doesn't do anything useful.
Oh.
And
you can't follow the egg in this glitch.
you can't.
Dang it.
And because you can't breed these legendary Paradox Pokemon, and the event is a one-time catch, people who caught these eggs were initially screwed. But Pokemon is working on a patch, and presumably if you've been affected by the bad egg glitch, you will get a redo. Or the egg will be turned into the Pokemon.
Right on, right on.
And that is actually the end of this episode.
Yes.
Sorry it took so long to get the PlayStation State of Play out. Life happened.
We're dealing with our own glitches here.
Yeah. But it is out. So, as always...
I'm excited to see when that video comes out, because I had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah. As always, thanks for watching, and stay cool.
Now you're playing with power, bitch! Sure.
Perfect. I'm keeping that last bit in.